Good evening and welcome to Hungary Report, starting with public media and once foreign language news hour. I'm Csenga Gabriela Ibolya with today's news from Hungary Carpathian Basin. Let's begin. Fidesz-KDNP won the EP elections here in Hungary. The governing parties received a staggering 52% of the votes, with which they'll be able to send 13 MEPs out of the 21 to the European Parliament. DK, or Democratic Coalition, will be sending 4, Momentum 2, while Párbeszéd and Jobbik will be sending 1 representative each.
There was a record high turnout in this year's European parliamentary elections in Hungary. 43.5% of citizens who are eligible to vote, that is 3.4 million people, casted their vote on Sunday. Polling stations could close at 7:30 p.m. everywhere. Official results, however, were only made public at 11 p.m., as voting lasted until 11 in Italy. And according to EU law, results can only be made public after voting stations have closed everywhere. A few minutes after 11 p.m., partial results were already made public, to which only smaller adjustments were made. According to results, the Fidesz-KDNP faction received more than 52% of the votes, which amounts up to 13 seats in the European Parliament. The party coming in second was the Democratic Coalition, or DK, with 16% of the votes, which means that the party of the ex-Prime Minister, Ferenc Gyurcsány, will send 4 representatives to the EP. The party Momentum got 10% of the votes, which makes up 2 mandates. The MSZP Párbeszéd coalition received a little above, and Jobbik received a little less than 6.5%. Thus, they will each be able to delegate 1 representative. The Mi Hazánk, or Our Homeland movement, LMP, where politics can be different, the Kétfarkú kutyapárt, or Two-Tailed Dog Party, and the Munkáspárt, or Workers' Party, did not reach the 5% threshold, which means these parties will not be able to have representation in the European Parliament. 1.8 million people voted for the Fidesz-KDNP faction, which is an all-time high in the history of the EP elections. The governing parties won both in the capital and in all 19 counties. And DK came in second in all counties and Budapest as well. Fidesz, with its 52% of votes, forms the second strongest party in Europe. Only the Maltese Workers' Party received more votes in proportion. Sunday at 7 p.m., the counting of the nearly 40,000 letter votes started in the National Election Office. After opening the envelopes, the voting sheets were scanned, and afterwards they were counted manually as well. On Monday, the urns from 4 representations containing the votes also started arriving. These, however, will only be opened, foreseeably on Wednesday, if all votes arrive from the 132 different places and the National Election Office has checked for the intactness of the urns. The president of the National Election Office said the elections went well without any complications. The final results will be made public when letter votes and the votes from 4 representations, about 60,000, will be counted. These, however, are not likely to influence the current results.
Next to a record turnout, we managed a record-breaking victory. This is how the Prime Minister reacted to the election results Sunday night. Viktor Orbán said, "People have trusted Fidesz and KDNP with 3 things: to stop migration, to defend the Europe of nations, and to protect Christian culture."
In a speech Sunday evening, Prime Minister Viktor Orbán called the results of the Fidesz-KDNP faction a record-breaking triumph. Viktor Orbán thanked those who voted for keeping Hungary a country for Hungarians and Europe for the Europeans. The PM said the results show that people in Hungary believe that a change in Brussels is needed, and leaders who represent the interests of European people, who respect European nations, and who are proud of their 2,000-year-old Christian culture. Hungarians have entrusted us with 3 things. First, to stop migration into Europe. Second, to protect the Europe of nations. And lastly, to protect the Christian culture in Europe. And you can be sure that we will do this, said the Prime Minister. He added, with the all-time high turnout at the European parliamentary elections, Hungary has shown that it is a European nation, a European country, that it has a place in Europe, and that Europe is our home as well, which is why we would like to change it. Regarding the European results, the PM emphasized no left turn happened in the EU, and the election brought about the failure of the left wing in Hungary.
The balance of power has completely reshifted in the opposition after Sunday's European parliamentary elections. The strongest opposition party is DK, or Demokratikus Koalíció, led by Ferenc Gyurcsány, while MSZP has managed to sink to a historical low, which means only 1 EP mandate for the socialists.
The agreements between the opposition must not be broken, said Ferenc Gyurcsány on Monday, assessing the results of the European parliamentary elections. According to the president of the DK, or Democratic Coalition, the most important thing now is that parties put aside their selfish interests and start preparing for the municipal elections together. According to Ferenc Gyurcsány, the reason for DK's Sunday's success is that they've mobilized well and had good candidates, including his wife, Klára Dobrev. I think the top candidate on the party list was able to raise the attention of voters who formerly had not thought they would vote for DK. Her personal achievement greatly contributes to the fact that we will be sending 4 representatives to the European Parliament, he said. On Sunday, DK's celebration started way before the announcement of the official results. A little before midnight, Ferenc Gyurcsány and Klára Dobrev were greeted with great applause. In comparison to DK, politicians of the MSZP Párbeszéd coalition gathered in silence to evaluate the results. Party leader Bertalan Tóth announced they lost out in the elections. He, however, said the leadership of the party will not resign. According to analysts, the results of the election will alter the opposition. DK defeated MSZP, which means Ferenc Gyurcsány will now have the leading role.
The 2 biggest losers of the EP elections were Jobbik and LMP. The Green Party didn't even manage to reach the 5% threshold, which means they didn't receive a single mandate. Jobbik only managed to snatch 1 mandate, but it's uncertain who they'll send to Brussels. Momentum celebrated that 10%, as they themselves didn't expect such a favourable outcome.
Momentum celebrated with dancing till dawn as they've managed to perform much better than it was expected. They've managed to receive 10% of the votes, which means that they can send 2 representatives to the European Parliament. One of their main candidates is Katalin Cseh, whose name was shouted many times during the result party. According to her, miracles still happen. We dream of a country, and not only do we dream of it, but we will make this dream come to life. And this is how we will give hope to those who have given up everything, said Katalin Cseh. The second on Momentum's EP list is Anna Donát, the vice president of the party. She said she didn't expect to get to Brussels, for which reason she also failed to prepare a speech.
Én őszinte leszek, nem készültem beszédre.
Still, she managed to get out a few words, saying that the success is not hers but the voters.
Az már önmagában győzelem, hogy a Jobbik itt van.
Jobbik's event wasn't quite as cheerful. The spokesperson of the party said their greatest success is the party's survival, as the party had one of their worst results since its existence. 5 years ago they had 3 mandates, now only 1. Márton Gyöngyösi thinks with this a new situation has come into effect in the party. We have to call together a congress where we can discuss the new situation, said the politician. But the worst atmosphere was at LMP's event, where previous numbers already indicated that the party has suffered a serious defeat and won't be getting into the European Parliament. The leaders of the party refused to wait for the first official results and resigned.
An exhibition of the prominent painter of the Baja region, Mária Janotka, opened in the Baja Tourist Center titled Shadow and Light. The center of her abstract and realist work is beauty, which she intends to find in everything from the human body to nature. Among the selected pieces, there are some showcasing the beauty of the regions along the Danube. The artist's excellent technique and positive messages are what reflected in her works is what contribute to her success. The 40th Summer Exhibit of Szeged, which is organized every 2 years, has been opened in the Derek Palace. The exhibition is one of the largest events of Hungarian contemporary art. Diversity has become the exhibit's trademark, not only for style but also for the different art represented. This year, 130 pieces were selected from roughly 700 artworks. In addition to many paintings, small sculptures and graphics can also be seen. Throughout the exhibition, regular guided tours will be available to the public. And that's all for now, but don't forget you can catch Hungary reports every night after 11 p.m. news and online as always. Do stick around and watch our German, Russian and Chinese language news. Thank you for watching and have a lovely evening.